Yes. Well. So we're now in meeting and we're in the live audio stream, I believe. I have an apology from Councillor Barnett, so for today. Any other apologies? So Councillor moved, Councillor Redmond seconded, Councillor Mealings, not Councillor Mealings, Councillor Williams, sorry. Apologies. Sorry. I won't make that mistake again. Please say aye. Contrary to be declared. We're not going to deal with the minutes of the meeting today because they're not quite in the position they need to be, so they will be. We'll receive those next week. Have those next week. So we come to reports 4.1. And it's the name of the Chief Executive. So Jim, do you wish to speak? Okay. We've had the draft annual plan hearings, so it should be all fairly familiar to us, and this is what we agreed. So any questions of members? So we've got a recommendation. I'll move from the chair, seconded by Councillor. I asked you for questions, sorry. Sorry, I didn't see you. Yep, so look, just for the record, I've moved it, seconded by, who was seconding it? I'll come back to that in a minute. Councillor Stewart, your question?
Yes, I was just asking for clarification on under issues and options.
Can you use your microphone, please? Sorry.
Item 3, funding required to complete the community hub, an increase from 618k over 2 years for associated facilities. That didn't immediately make sense to me, and it still doesn't. Can you explain? So it's 618, we're saying, extra over 2 years, or a total of
Which page are you referring to, please?
It's on page 6.
Yeah, 2 of 4. Yeah, 6. 6 of 8. 4.2. 3. Just on the community hub, can you clarify exactly how much funding is required? Is this on top of what? Is it 618 in total over 2 years? It's not clear to me, just the way it's phrased.
My understanding is it's an additional 618,000 than what's currently being provided. Maybe yes. Mr. Brown's here. I don't know whether you want to add anything to that, Chris, your grant?
Yeah, an additional 618 split over 2 years.
Oh, okay, right.
300 and
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it's reading.
Over 2 years additional to the existing budget,
Yep.
which is already in budget.
I don't know whether the word "from" is.
Maybe a better word could have been used in there, but are we all clear about what that
an
means?
extra of, it should be instead of from.
Well, it's a report, so it's not in the, but it's, we get the point, yep.
And could I just ask another question, which I brought up with the Chief Executive earlier. When we get to community views, can we, and you talk about Ngāi Hapu not being likely to be affected by nor groups nor the wider community, that is just completely wrong when in fact we're putting out a consultation document on our annual plan.
Yes.
I'm just saying it needs to be, I know it's a template, it needs to be worked on, worded better. So, I mean, all those groups mentioned are intimately affected by our annual plan. So I'm just saying, can we word this better?
Yes, I agree. Is there any, do you want to add anything, Jim?
No, it's something we need to look at.
But that, under 5.1, you're absolutely right, Councillor Stewart, and we do have a specific engagement. Yeah, indeed. So we do go out and have a specific consultation with Ngāi Tahu, so it definitely does impact on them. So yes, should have been picked up, and I think it's a good matter to raise. But thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Doody?
Just a clarification, which the same as Sandra. was about the Ashley Gorge. That's 500 Ks over 2 years, not 500 Ks each year. Is that right?
That's my understanding. Chris,
Just,
is that correct?
just want it just clarified, so
Yep.
there's no misunderstanding. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll second the
You happy to second?
Yeah, thank
So just before we have the discussion, is there any further questions? Look, just in supporting the draft annual plan, we've been through a really good process, and we commended our staff for the work that they've done leading us into this exercise. We had certainly signalled as part of that we wanted to make sure that our rates were at a level not dissimilar to where we had indicated through the long-term plan. We're just slightly ahead of that by about 0.1%, and we'll see where we get to when we have the community views that will come to us through that time. But look, I have to commend the staff and elected members and how we've all worked together, and all the staff, our governance staff as well, that have supported us through this exercise. There's a consultation program being indicated. Some of that will change from how we've done things previously because of the situation we're in with COVID, but we are looking in a social media sense about how we could utilise Facebook, as we did with the Three Waters last year, and it seems to be quite an effective method of doing so. So staff are looking into that possibility and how we might make that work, and that would be available to all elected members to be part of that in like a room of sorts, as they call it, and then the community would be able to ask clarity and questions, and all of us would be there to be able to provide some answers to that. So that's just being considered at the moment, but that will, we can't have drop-ins like we used to in the current format. It's not advisable, and we should be leading in that space. So we're in a different space than normal. But in saying that though, there's not a, if we look at our draft plan, from what we'd set in our long-term plan, it's not greatly dissimilar to that, but there are some specific submission points that are there to ask our community on. So I'd just like to pass my thanks to the Chief Executive and his team for all the work that's gone into getting us to this point, and commend it to our community for their feedback, and look forward to the consultation. Councillor Doody, do you wish to speak?
You've actually said it all, but the work that the staff have put into this has been huge, and really greatly appreciate the effort and support they've done. It's been not an easy time for them, and with all the last year's dealt to us as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Further speakers? There's nothing to respond to there. So I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary? Declare that carried. So I've got no questions, no urgent general business. We've got an item to be considered in public excluded. So I'll move from the chair the recommendation around PX. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ward. I'll put that. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary? Declare that carried. So we're now in public excluded. So Adrian, can you just confirm that we're off live stream?